YouTube, Instagram, and wherever else this video gets posted. In today's video, I'd like to talk about how I lost my art style and how I regained my art style. Now, when I say lost my art style, I don't mean it in the same way as art block affects you. As in, this wasn't a time when I wasn't able to draw. It was just a time where I just couldn't draw correctly in the way that I liked. So it wasn't like art block, but it's kind of close enough to that kind of situation. I wanted to make this video as in a way to document the process of me getting back to my normal art style, and also helping out any of you guys if you ever have to run into a situation like this. Maybe this could be a video that helps you figure out how you got there and what ways you could fix it. This piece right here and the Rose Lalonde piece I did were the two prime examples of me losing my art style and not being able to draw for a while. And at first I thought, oh, maybe this is just me going through a new art phase, whatever. But no, I just didn't like the pieces that I made at all. I hated the process of making the art, and it just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel on brand enough with me. And no matter what I did when I tried to do my normal way of making art with it, it just wouldn't look right and it didn't feel authentic to me. So going back and trying to figure out what has led me to this downfall of my art, I want to believe is from that whole period of time in which I have been watercoloring and going back to traditional art. Late in December on Christmas, I got some new watercolors, and I wanted to learn how to watercolor and how to use this product because I have been used to a cheap Walmart alternative, and these are just some newer, fancier ones. And I was like, oh, I'll just spend a little bit of time on this and just keep flip-flopping between digital art. But that's not how it went. So basically, I stuck with the watercolors for 3 months and I just threw digital art out the window. Digital art at the time was a little hard for me to do, especially with a lot of schoolwork and a lot of other stuff for me to do. I just couldn't sit down at a computer and draw. It had to be something that I could physically see, and if I needed to change places of recording, I could easily just pick up the board and just go sit somewhere else and plan out a traditional piece somewhere else and record it somewhere else. Whereas in digital, for me, I like to sit in one area, stay in that area, and I can't really just move around a lot when I have to actually do the drawing part of the digital piece. I have noticed in these 3 months of watercoloring that my style did change to fit better with the material. Like, if you go through all my types of medias that I use, each one has its own different style, but it's still on brand enough to me. Like in my Copic markers, I have 100% blended type of look to my artwork. Whereas in my digital art, it's kind of close to a painterly style. It's not as fully blended, but you can see that there is some blending. In watercolor, I haven't really been able to get the same blended type of look that I like. So I had to go to a little bit of a cell shaded look. And with doing that for 3 months and going back to my digital style where I don't cell shade at all, it just kind of threw me off of my work balance. And when I tried to do my normal style, it just didn't translate with my brain. In those 3 months, my brain had been hot wired to be, oh, not in digital art, in watercolor, I cell shade. In digital art, I don't cell shade. So it just didn't connect that, and it just took me a while trying to make this digital piece work. I'm like, I gotta cell shade because that's what I usually do, and I just couldn't do it. No matter what I did, the piece just wouldn't look on brand enough to me. It just didn't look like me. Now within these 2 weeks, I tried to convince myself oh, this is just a new art style you're going through, just a little phase, you're gonna end up liking it soon. But no, no. I absolutely hated these last 2 pieces I made, and I contemplated on whether or not making them videos just because they didn't look right to me. They're, as I said before, they're not me. They just didn't feel on brand enough. And I posted them anyway, as you can see now, and I still kind of feel leeway with the piece. Like the taco piece right here, I feel close enough with. I'm like, oh, okay, I could deal with this one. It looks good enough to me. But the Rosalind piece I did, not on brand enough to me. Didn't fit with my style. Just nope. I just couldn't get with it. After feeling so much hate for my new pieces, I want to know, how do I get my art style back? How do I go back to what I used to do? And what I had to do was go back and watch some of my older videos, which that's easy for me to say because I like to record nearly everything that I do, but for most people I know won't be that way. So what I've also been doing to sustain my new style was to make sure I flip-flop between mediums and not being stuck to one type of thing. Because like, when you're stuck to one type of thing, your brain gets rewired and you're just doing that over and over again. And when you try to go to another thing that you used to do, your brain's like, ran out memory space. Sorry, don't have that anymore. We threw that out a long time ago. And you just gotta reteach it and relearn what you used to do. And the relearning part is not fun. And you'll get probably pieces like these, like the ones I'm showing you now. But in the end, it's a good journey and a good thing to go through. So to wrap up all my ideas, what I'm kind of trying to say is take your time. You're gonna go through these little patches where your art's gonna look terrible and you're just gonna lose your art style for a little bit. Sometimes it leads to earning a new one, and sometimes it just leads to just a little bit of sadness and just a weird stage of life. But just don't stress yourself up about it, and just go through some of your older works and see if there's a connector between them of what you liked. And what I did do recently was I did a piece that wouldn't stress me out as much. So I did one of these draw this in your style pieces, and I wasn't stressed out about it because it wasn't my character. It wasn't something that I was attached to as much, and I ended up getting my style back and going back to what I usually do. And that's basically what I did. Just do something that won't stress you out, and you'll get what you want. That's the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.